So, what if I told you that the secret to achieving more in 2025 isn't actually in doing more, but about slowing down? Now, I know that that sounds counterintuitive, but I have watched this transform not only my life, but the lives of dozens of high achieving women. And today, I want to talk to you about exactly how it works. So, welcome to the Magic Mindfulness Podcast. I am your host, Rachel Hupp, and today I want to share something with you that is really personal. You know how sometimes the universe just keeps sending you the same messages over and over and over again until you finally pay attention? Well, that was me and slowing down in 2024. Now I'm recording this. It is early January 2025. And, I found myself, I thought I was doing all the right things, teaching yoga, running my programs, helping other women find alignment in their lives. But something just felt off and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. But then I started working with a human design and energetic alignment coach. And you know what we worked on together? Learning to slow down. And I have to be honest with you, at first, I felt some major resistance to this. I mean, how on earth would I get everything done? But here's the wild thing. When I finally gave myself permission to slow down, I felt like something just shifted. Everything changed. Instead of feeling like I was always rushing from one thing to the next, I started pausing to really listen to my inner voice. For those of you watching on YouTube, my shirt says Inquire Within. I got it at the yoga studio that I teach at in Harrisonburg, the center. But, I started pausing to listen inward, to tune into my inner voice, my intuition. It's that quiet whisper of intuition that we so often ignore because we're too busy to hear it. And yeah, I could finally hear it again as I started to slow down more. And what I found, what I thought was really powerful, was that the magic wasn't just in the big moments. It showed up in my morning coffee, in the way the sun hit the trees during my walks, in those quiet moments before my yoga practice. I was able to get crystal clear on what I truly wanted, not what I thought I should want. And you know what I found the most surprising part to me was I actually started accomplishing more, but in a way that felt more in flow. It felt more effortless and more aligned. And so I'm sharing this with you because I have a feeling you might be exactly where I was. You're successful on paper, you've done everything right, but something still feels missing, doesn't it? You're tired of rushing through life, checking boxes, but not feeling fulfilled. And maybe, just maybe, you are ready to try a different way. So, today I'm going to break down exactly how slowing down can be the key to unlocking everything that you want to achieve in 2025. Not by pushing harder, my friend, but by tuning in deeper. And I promise you, if this worked for my high achieving perfectionist self, I have a feeling it can work for you too. Now, you know that feeling when you wake up in the morning and your mind is already racing with your to do list? One of my clients described this perfectly. She said that her day was already going in her head before her feet even hit the floor. And I bet that you can relate to that, right? I know I certainly can. So here's the thing about rushing. Here's the thing about speed. We have been conditioned to believe that faster equals better. More efficient equals more successful. If we could just do more, be more, accomplish more, then we'd finally feel fulfilled. But let me share something fascinating that I've noticed, not just in my own life, but working with other women as well. The more we push to be productive, the more disconnected we tend to feel from ourselves. I remember one person sharing that by not rushing, by giving herself permission to slow down, she found herself starting to enjoy the simple things in her day to day life more. And the really interesting part, she realized how many opportunities she had been missing before just because she was moving too fast to notice them. So it's pretty powerful stuff. Think about it. When was the last time you felt truly present in your life? Not thinking about the next thing on your list or replaying something from yesterday, but actually here in this moment right now. Why don't we do it? Let's come into this moment. Go ahead and find a little more length in your spine. Reach the crown of your head towards the sky and let the shoulders drop down your back. And just offer yourself a long, slow, deep breath in. Gently let it go. And as you inhale, feel the breath as it comes into your body, the expansion through the rib cage, maybe a movement in the belly. And then just let the breath out. Notice what you feel. As you inhale, take in the sights and sounds around you. And as you exhale, just let yourself ground a little more deeply into the present moment. Good. Come back to the natural rhythm of your breath. And so, what I'm talking about here is what I call the paradox of speed. The faster we go, the more we miss. So, the more we miss, the harder we push to try to make up for it, right? And it's like being stuck in a hamster wheel of doing without ever arriving at the being we're actually craving. So, today I want to talk to you about three key elements that make slowing down so powerful. I like to call these the three pillars of mindful achievement. Now, the first pillar is grounding in the present moment. I have seen such beautiful transformations with this, not only in my own life, but with clients I work with as well. One woman was telling me how impossible it felt at first. She said that slowing down was more challenging than she ever anticipated, especially in the morning time. And I get it. But here's what works. We start small. Maybe it's 3 deep breaths before you get out of bed, or feeling your feet on the floor as you make your morning coffee. These tiny moments of presence, they're actually the foundation of everything else. Now, before we move on to the second pillar, I invite you to try something with me. Just take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, notice where you feel tension in your body right now. No need to change anything. Just notice. This simple practice of tuning in, it's actually an ancient yogic technique and it's incredibly powerful. Now, the second pillar is trusting your inner wisdom. In the Yoga Sutras, there's this beautiful concept of pratyahara, turning our awareness inward. And one of the women that I've worked with, she shared something that really stuck out to me. She said that she had spent so many years living up to other people's expectations that she had forgotten to hear her own inner voice. Sound familiar? Because I know that I can relate with that. So here's what I have found works. Start by creating what I like to call true self check-ins. So, how does this work? Well, when you catch yourself reacting to something, take a pause. Notice what you're feeling. Maybe it's a sensation in your gut or a tightness in your chest. This is your inner wisdom speaking. It's so easy for us to get disconnected from it. Learn to tune in. The more we practice listening, the clearer that voice becomes. So, again, let's pause here for a moment. Think about the last time that you made a decision. Were you listening to your inner wisdom or were you responding to external pressures? All right, the third pillar is aligned action. This is where the magic really happens. The Yoga Sutras, again, they talk about finding balance between effort and ease. I talk a lot about this in my yoga classes, what we call sthira and sukha. It's not about doing nothing, but it's about moving forward from a place of clarity and purpose. When we slow down enough to get clear, the right actions become more obvious. And I see this transformation all the time. Women discover that when they take the time to ground themselves, when they take the time to check in with their inner wisdom first, they actually accomplish more. But here's the key. They're accomplishing things that truly matter to them, not just checking boxes on somebody else's list. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but what about the real world? So, let me address some of the most common challenges that I see when it comes to slowing down. So, first, there's the fear of falling behind. I get it. I had that exact same fear myself. The voice that says, if I slow down, everything will fall apart. But here's what I've discovered both in my own journey and watching others' journeys as well. Slowing down can actually help you to see what truly needs your attention. Instead of spreading yourself thin across everything, you can focus your energy where it matters the most. And then there's the pressure from others, right? Maybe it's your workplace culture, your family expectations, or just society in general, pushing you to do more, more, more. Here's a practice that I love sharing in my Wildly Aligned Women program. Before saying yes to anything, take 3 deep breaths, just 3 breaths to check in with yourself. Does this align with your values? Is this where you want to spend your precious time and energy? All right, let's talk about the biggest myth of all, that time management is the answer. Now, I used to think that if I just found the right productivity system, everything would fall into place. I cannot tell you how much time and energy I have invested into time management skills. But what I have learned is that clarity comes before productivity. What do I mean by that? Well, when you are clear on what matters to you, time management becomes so much simpler. The truth is that slowing down isn't about managing time better. It's about coming home to yourself. It's about remembering who you are beneath all of those shoulds and have tos. So let me paint a picture of what happens when you start embracing the slower, more mindful approach to achievement. And I want to be really honest with you here because at first it might feel uncomfortable and it likely will. That is completely normal. Just like when you try a new yoga pose, there's that initial wobble before you find your balance. So in the beginning, you might notice how often your mind wants to race ahead or how frequently you feel that urge to speed up. But that awareness, that is actually the first sign of transformation. It's like turning on a light in a room you've been fumbling around in. Suddenly you can see what's really there. And then something beautiful starts to happen. You begin to trust yourself more. Those moments of pause between reaction and response get longer. You start making decisions from a place of clarity rather than urgency. And here's the really amazing part you begin to notice magic in the ordinary moments of your day. But the biggest transformation, it's in how you feel about what you are achieving. Instead of checking boxes on an endless to-do list, you are moving forward with purpose. Your goals become less about proving your worth. You know that you're already worthy. You are inherently worthy. Your goals become more about expressing who you truly are at your core, your soul level. Now, I've seen this shift happen time and time again. People start sleeping better, their relationships improve, they feel more creative, more inspired, not because they're doing more, but because they're doing what matters with presence and intention. Now, the best part is that this transformation ripples out into everything that you do. When you are more connected to yourself, you become more present with others, right? When you trust your inner wisdom, you make choices that align with your true values. And when you take aligned action, you inspire others to do the same. Now, before I wrap up today, let's bring this all together. We started by talking about the paradox of speed, right? How rushing through life actually makes us miss the very things that we are trying to achieve. We explored the three pillars: grounding in the present moment, trusting your inner wisdom, and taking aligned action. And we looked at what real transformation feels like when you give yourself permission to slow down. Now, here's what I want you to remember: slowing down isn't about doing less. It's about creating space to align with your authentic self, the core of who you are, which naturally leads to more meaningful achievements and greater fulfillment. It's about quality over quantity, purpose over pressure, and alignment over achievement at any cost. So, if you're resonating with what we're talking about today and you are ready to step off that hamster wheel and into a more aligned way of being, I have something special to share with you. On January 23rd, 2025, I'm starting a new round of my Wildly Aligned Women program. Now, this is where we take everything we talked about today and put it into practice in a way that fits your real life. We'll work together to help you slow down, tune in, and create the meaningful achievement that you are creating on a soul aligned level. Now, I keep these groups intimate because this kind of transformation deserves space and support. If you are feeling the call to join us, or if you just want to learn a little bit more about it, you can find all the details at www.rachelhupp.com/wildly aligned, all one word. And I'll also add that link down in the show notes. I would love to guide you on this journey of coming home to yourself. And my friend, whether or not you join us in January, I do want to leave you with two gifts to help you start this journey right now. First, I have created a simple but powerful daily pause points guide for you. It is a beautiful one-page reminder of how to integrate these mindful moments into your day. You can grab it for free in the show notes or just go to rachelhupp.com/episode 45. Think of it as your pocket companion for finding magic in the mundane. And then second, I want to share one small but powerful practice that you can start right now. Now, tomorrow morning, before you jump into your day, take 3 deep breaths, just 3, and notice how you feel, what you need, what matters most. This tiny moment of presence, it's your first step towards a more aligned way of being. And guess what? You can take those 3 breaths to check in with yourself at any time, day or night. And if you are loving this conversation about slowing down to achieve more, I have got 2 more resources that will help you on this journey. So check out episode 43, where we talk about finding the courage to define success your own way. I even have a free personal success compass guide for you there. And then episode 44 dives into the power of letting go, which pairs perfectly with what we discussed today about creating space for what truly matters. All right, my friend, this is Rachel Hupp again, reminding you that the magic is not in doing more. It's in being more present for what you're already doing. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me. Until next time, keep finding those moments to slow down and tune in. That wisdom you're seeking, it's already within you.